Hello everyone. Today we are going to walk through many of the most difficult parts of your first Excel spreadsheet project. So as you can see, this is Excel Module 1, Project 1A. I've already downloaded the instructions, and in fact I've already retrieved the start file and saved it on my computer. Here we are. I've opened the file. I've renamed it with the underbar 2 file naming convention, and really I'm ready to go. Just as a note, when you open up the file at the start, you'll be on the documentation page. Make sure to check this page to see that your name is pre-filled on the little banner here, and it should be on a tab called documentation. We're going to start on the company analysis sheet. Each one of these tabs are names of sheets in Excel. So our project begins by introducing us to a small business owner, Bob, and he actually is the co-owner of Blooming Everywhere Delivery. It's a floral delivery service, and he is preparing a report for his business partner, and thus he is using Excel. The first thing that we need to do is to look on this company analysis worksheet and use a feature called Autofit to adjust the width of column A. So you can see in an Excel spreadsheet, rows are numbered and columns are named with letters. So we are first going to select column A. You notice how my mouse pointer changed from the hollow plus sign to a downward facing arrow. Then I will left click my mouse and I will have chosen column A. I am going to now go to the cells group on my ribbon and choose format, and from that format drop down I should find auto fit column width. I will click that, and you will notice that the column automatically takes on a width that's appropriate for the current data in that column so that it fits nicely. In cell A1, so how do you select a cell? A cell is an intersection between a row and a column. So if I click at the intersection of A and 1, I will have selected the appropriate cell, and I'm going to enter some text. Blooming Everywhere Delivery. Okay. When I enter text into a cell, you can also note that that text appears up here in what we call the formula bar. So that is the data behind what we are seeing in the cell, and in this particular case it's identical. Now we need to center that particular data. You can see that when we selected A1 that really B, C, and D all look like they have been selected as well. That's because this particular cell was pre-merged. So we'll talk about merging cells in a few steps. But we would need to center this particular data. So let's select the cell, and then from the alignment group we are going to select center, and then that text is centered. Now we're going to apply a style. It's not all that different from styles in Microsoft Word. It's really a similar concept. A style is just a packaging of aesthetics attributes that apply and then are packaged together and given a name. So we're going to apply the heading 1 cell style to the merged range here. So we're going to go over to styles and pull down cell styles and simply find the one named heading 1, and those all those features are automatically applied to the text. We're going to go to A2, so that's the intersection of column A and row 2, and enter the word revenue. And then merge and center A2 to D2. So to select a range, I already have A2 selected. I can use a similar technique that I used to select a range of text in Word. I'm going to Shift and click the cell at the end of the range, and you can see how the entire range is now selected. So I've first selected the range, A2 to D2, and then under the alignment group, I'm going to choose Merge and Center, and you can see how now the text is both centered and that whole big range has become one cell. In E3, we are going to clear the contents. That's in the editing group. There is something that looks a little bit like an eraser called Clear. I'm going to use that pull down tab and choose exactly what the instructions indicate. Clear contents, and the contents is now gone. I've already entered the data from the table, and hopefully you know how to do that. The training should help you with that. So I'm going to move on to using the fill handle. The fill handle is just, it's magic. It's wonderful. It's a great feature that's built into Excel. It allows you to replicate patterns. So we're going to use the fill handle to what's called copy a formula that happens to be in B8. So we can see that we see the number $9,700. Up in the formula bar, though, we do not see that identical text. So the formula is the sum of cells B4 to B7. We'd like that same summing operation to happen for column C and column D. Not exactly the same formula, a similar formula. And that's where the fill handle is just wonderful, because I can just position my mouse till the hollow plus turns into this black plus sign, left click my mouse, and drag over the cells that I want the replication to occur. And when I let go, new formulas will be applied. Not the exact same formula. Look in column B, the formula's the sum of B4 to B7. If I click in column C, it's the sum of C4 to C7. And then column D, it's the sum of D4 to D7. So the pattern is replicated, not the exact formula. It's really, really useful. I'm going to skip to step 9, where I'm going to select a range B12, so column B, row 12, through D16. Oh my, that's a completely different row and column here. But we can use that same shift and clicking technique, where I find D and 16 and shift and click, and now that nice entire rectangle range has been selected for me. Make sure you get the range correct. And now we're going to apply the accounting number format with 2 decimal places and the $sign as the symbol. So we're going to go to the cell group in the Format tool and go all the way down to the bottom and format cells. A dialog box will appear, and if we click on Accounting, we can double check that the symbol's already a $sign and the decimal places are already set at 2. So our requirements are being met. So I can click OK, and that formatting is then applied to every cell in that range. We learned that Bob, our fictitious company owner here, wants to calculate the total expenses by adding up the expenses from each year. So we're looking in cell E16, and we want to create a formula using the sum function, and we're going to calculate a range, a sum across a range. Anytime you are entering any kind of calculation in Excel, you must begin with the equal sign. The equal sign is like a keyword. It's a key symbol that tells Excel, hey, what is to follow is going to be a calculation. If that equal sign is not there, Excel will not work properly. Just type in the word sum. Okay. And that is a built-in function. And what is the range that I want? I want B16. The colon means through or connecting. Okay, so B16 to D16 and ending with a parentheses, just like formulas or functions in different programming languages. If you're familiar with any programming languages, this will become old hat to you. If it's brand new, then you just have to remember the sum is a function, and then what you want to sum is put inside these parentheses. When I hit enter, the sum takes place and we see the value that's been calculated. Step 11, I will just talk about a little bit. I've already completed step 11 down here with the word profit, and you can see that it's been changed to Calibri. You'll have to type in the number 13 because that number does not implicitly appear in the list. So just know that you'll have to click inside the box here and type 13 and then hit your enter key to change the font size to 13. And then you should already remember how to change a font color and merge a range. All right, now we're going to move to cell B20. So here we have some, it looks empty at this moment in time. And we're going to create a formula. It says create a formula without using a function that calculates the profit earned in 2018. So we're allowed to use math. We're just not using a built-in function. We're still going to start with that equal sign, and we are going to subtract B16 from B8. I'm going to use something called the pointing method. I'm going to look for B and 8, and I'm going to click on that intersection. And you'll notice that because the equal sign was there in the cell, Excel expects us to be doing some kind of calculation, and as soon as I clicked on B8, that cell name appeared right here for me. I'm going to type minus because I want to subtract something from B8. What is it I want to subtract? B16. So I will look for B and 16, click there, and that cell name pops right in. I can hit the enter key and the calculation occurs. Very nice. Now I want to do that same thing for columns C and D, and you remember I have that magic way to do it, the fill handle. So get the dark plus sign, drag over the two columns, let go, and the calculations occur for us. Tab colors. Sometimes we want to color code different tabs in our workbook, and that makes it, easier to find things. So we're going to change the tab color of this company analysis worksheet by right-clicking on the tab, looking at the context menu. There is a choice called tab color, and then we can just find the appropriate color, in this case orange, which will be the third color in the standard colors list, and change the color of the tab. We're now going to select the clustered column chart. So I just clicked anywhere inside of it, and it now becomes the active object. And we need to do some updating of that chart. So we can see there's some symbols over here on the right. The plus line indicates chart elements, the little paintbrush tools, chart styles, and what looks like a funnel is the chart filters. So we're going to be changing the chart style to style 5. So I will click the chart styles, and a gallery comes up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll hover over to make sure I have the correct style. I do have style 5. All I have to do is click that, and it is applied to my chart. Now we want to move the chart to its own chart sheet. We have Move Chart, and when I click that, I can make this so that you can see it better. There's New Sheet, and we're told exactly what to use as the title of the sheet. We want to use 2018-2020 revenue. Make sure you spell everything exactly as specified and click OK. You can see now we have a new sheet. It's been populated with the chart, and it has the name that we've been told to give it, and all looks well at this point. Switch back to company analysis. That's what we're asked to do in step 15, and select non-adjacent ranges. So A12 to A15, I'm going to select A12 and drag my mouse down until I get to A15. That selects the first range. Now, hold the control key down on your keyboard. Find D12, left click your mouse, and drag it down until you get to D15. Now you can let go of the control and unclick the mouse. Both of those ranges are now selected simultaneously. We need to now create a 3D pie chart. That is done via the Insert tab. In the Charts group, here's Pie Charts. The arrow will give us choices, and here's the 3D pie chart. Now, we had a pie chart just plop into our worksheet. We need to do some updating to that chart. We need to change the title. So I'm going to click on the title. I'm going to select what's there originally, change it to Expenses in 2020. I can click anywhere outside of that title to deselect that text box. Change the style, again using the paintbrush tool. This time style 3. Let's make sure it is style 3 by looking at the helper box. Select that style and the style takes effect. Now I want to move the chart. This time I'm going to move the chart by looking at my chart tools context menu in the design tab. Look in the far right, there's something called move chart. Just an alternate way to move the chart to a new sheet, and this time I'm going to use 2020 expenses as the name of the sheet, and there it was created for me. So your workbook should now look like mine, where you have actually 4 tabs: the original documentation, a revenue sheet. I've mistyped the name on the revenue sheet. How can I repair that? Let's right click and rename. It needs to be 2018 to 2020 revenue. So all I do, make the correction, click anywhere outside of that area, and the correction is taken place. Then I have a 2020 expenses and a company analysis. Okay, make sure you save your document, and of course you're ready to submit it back to Sam using the choose files and upload. All right, hope this helps.